We're doing a tour of the Franz Park neighborhood. It's one of 79 neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis. We're 7 miles from the Gateway Arch. This is the 4th Dogtown neighborhood that we're doing. We've done the other 3. Dogtown is a clay mining term. So it's Franz Park, not to be confused with Hans and Franz from Saturday Night Live. But I'm pumped up to do this. This area was part of Gratiot League Square. You can see that huge chunk of land below Forest Park. Charles Gratiot was from Switzerland and moved to St. Louis in 1781. He married Auguste Chouteau's stepsister. In the 1840s, this began to change from agricultural to industrial as clay deposits were found all throughout the area and used to make brick. And there was some coal also. Immigrant workers started populating the area. Eventually, the Irish settled mostly north of Manchester in Dogtown, and Italians formed the hills south of Manchester. But there were also Germans, French, Polish, the Balkan countries like Croatia, and African Americans. There were 2 major events that spurred the growth of clay mining and brick: the Great Fire of 1849 that destroyed a third of the city, and of which there is a great display at the Missouri History Museum, and after which an ordinance was put in place that banned wood frame construction. Fire Captain Thomas Target was a hero who was tragically killed when an explosive device went off prematurely as he was creating a barrier to stop the fire from spreading. The second was that the railroad came through Dogtown. The Pacific Railroad got started in 1852. And then the Frisco Railroad in the 1870s, which didn't go to San Francisco, but went to Frisco, Texas. So that's my very brief summary. We have amazing brickwork in St. Louis. Irish culture is widely celebrated in Dogtown. Now here's Colombo's. We went here around St. Patrick's Day.
You wanted to do a St.
It's dark, it's a feel like that.
Oh my God! I love it. How'd you do that?
Hit some.
So that's Colombo's at night and daytime. We're on Manchester Avenue. This was part of the original Route 66 from 1926 to 1933. Then it moved a little further south on Chippewa and Watson, where you could get a Ted Drew's frozen custard a few years later. They opened that one in 1941. This was the Scullin Steel headquarters, founded in 1899. They closed in 1981. And across the street, which is the Ellendale neighborhood, is where their plant was, where this shopping area is. The gates from the plant complex are at the Missouri History Museum. They have a really cool display there. They manufactured armor, shell casings, and other items for World War II and employed thousands of people. Casting for railroad cars declined in the 1960s and 70s. It closed in 1981 and was demolished in 1987. This is the time clock. Their sponsored soccer team were the 1922 National Challenge Cup champions. This is a Scullin Steel baseball team. The corporate office building on this side of Manchester remains. And it's now Sumner 1, which supplies office equipment. Here's Filoni's, an excellent Italian restaurant, purchased by Alessandro Failoni in 1916. It was a Lemp Brewery Tavern. He passed away in 1950. He had 4 kids. The third one was named Leo, and the fourth was Alex Sr., who married Rosemary. They also had 4 kids. Alex Jr. took over here and started Uncle Leo's, and his sister Rose's kids worked here and took over Uncle Leo's, and they have incredible pizza. Hope that all makes sense. So we're continuing on along Manchester. Here's Cusimano's here. We're approaching Maplewood in St. Louis County. They have some original Route 66 markers, and it's a city-county boundary right here. We'll go up this street. And there's a shamrock. That's quite a hill I just walked up, but who said YouTube people are normal? This is Wilkinson Early Childhood Center, formerly Rowe School, designed by Rockwell Milligan and opened in 1921, named after John J. Rowe. He was a pork packer from Cincinnati who moved to St. Louis. And Franz Park is across from it. Sophia Franz gave her land to the city in 1915 for a park and playground in honor of her husband, Erhard. He was a wholesale merchandiser who came to the U.S. in 1854 and moved to St. Louis in 1871. Their house was at 6730 Mitchell, at where the tennis court is. Well, this is a really cool neighborhood. I thoroughly enjoyed showing you around. Thanks so much for joining me.